This video, we're going to make this little paywall, which has kind of like a tab view here. You can scroll through reviews, you can pick, whatever here. And yeah, let's get started. New project. We'll go ahead and go iOS. We'll go next and we'll go Paywall. Put this in our Git repository, so link to the code down below. And go ahead and create that. I'm going to go, I always forget now. Just double tap that and move this over like so. And Command 0, make a little more room on our Xcode here. And then I will just clean this up just a touch. So that's looking pretty good to start with. We can go in light mode or dark mode, whichever you prefer. I guess I like dark a lot. All right, so I think this is already a good start, having a VStack. Probably good to have padding there. We're not gonna have an image, so we'll just delete that. And we'll go ahead and do text and open parenthesis, and whatever you want, choose your plan. And escape. I think it said planet. Let's see. Hopefully this doesn't adjust my computer and mic here for a second. There we go. So I can see my screen better. Anywho, now we're gonna go ahead and give this a font dot title, and we are gonna do font weight of dot bold. All right, looking pretty good. Yeah, I don't think this one, I was like, is this one purple? No, we're not gonna make this one purple. We'll give this one some padding and just a little extra padding on top. Like so. And don't have two periods there. All right, I think that's pretty good. Now we want to add the next one, the one subscription title. And so this one's gonna be a little more stylized. Gonna make it purple and underscore. So we're gonna go one subscription, and one subscription, unlimited devices. So of course, there's recipes over here. Not sure if that matters too much. Like, this could be a paywall for whatever you want. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Do any of you already have apps out there, and do you do subscriptions? But anyway, yeah, we'll go font weight, and we're gonna go dot semi-bold. Not that. And then this one, like I said, we're gonna give it an underline, which thankfully there's already just a modifier for that. And then we're gonna go ahead and give it a foreground style of dot indigo. And at first I did purple, but I was like, I don't know, maybe kind of the indigo, which is, I don't know. Again, pick whatever color you might think would be best for your app. Now we're gonna create a spacer. Kind of push this up top. It's already starting to look kind of like our other view over there. Next, we want to go ahead and create a VStack where we're going to put in our little reviews and our tab view. So we're going to go VStack, and in here we're going to go ahead and create a HStack for our stars, and this is where we're going to go text, or not text, we're going to use the image, and we're going to use system, and we're going to go star dot fill, and there it is, way down here. We're going to give it a dot foreground style, foreground. I was confused, like, why is it suggesting foreground color? That's deprecated. Yellow. And that's only 1 star, so we'll go here and we'll, control click and go repeat. And 5 is good. We won't need to use a constant. So shift, put that there. And now we got our 5 stars. Now it's way down there, which is, we'll fix here in a moment. But we can do that. Actually, we'll just do that right now. We'll go spacer and push that up here. And then, let's see, got 5 stars. We gotta have our little reviews. This is gonna be a tab view. So inside our VStack, we're gonna go tab view, and I'll just go accept, no, not accept all that. I had tab, but I don't want to accept all that. And here's our tab view down here. But we want to go text, and we will go great app for discovering new recipes. All right, so there's a little bit of a text there, and we want to add to this text. Let's do a dot overlay, and in the overlay alignment, we will set it to alignment colon dot bottom trailing. And then inside the alignment, we're just going to add the name of the reviewer, and this is going to be Steve, not Jobs. Good suggestion though, huh? And it's sitting right there on top of that, which is not good. So we are going to have to give this a offset y colon an offset of 28. Looks pretty good. All right, so our review's looking pretty good. Now we're just going to go control click and go repeat. Again, we don't need item, so just underscore there. 5 is fine, or we could narrow it down to 3, whichever. Doesn't swipe yet because we also need to make the tab view a dot tab style, and we'll give it a dot page. All right, now we've got little dots down here in this, and they're all the same review, so obviously we would want to go through an actual array of reviews here. But spacing is all out of whack here, so let's constrain the height of our tab view to something like height, frame height, like so, and we'll give it 144. That looks pretty good. Stars are a bit high up. We can fix that by going to our VStack, which all this is in. And in our VStack, we can adjust the spacing to something like negative. Yeah, maybe that's too much. Negative 44. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good for the moment. All right, so moving on to, see, we got our tab view, and we're gonna put a spacer so we can start setting up our buttons here. All right, scroll down a little bit, and for our buttons here, we will go ahead and just create an H stack, and inside of our, oops, undo that last one. Inside of our H stack, we want to do a V stack. And yeah, I'll accept that because I do want suggesting one-time purchase. I don't accept that. We're gonna go say, why don't you read from the screenshot, AI? So here we're gonna go in our VStack. We're gonna go yearly. Oops, we're gonna create text first. We're gonna go text, and we're gonna go yearly, like that. And I need to actually highlight this and go shift parentheses, because I forgot to wrap it in that. And then here we'll give it a font modifier of title, like that. Actually, we'll make it title 2. And then I also want to change the weight of it, so we'll go font weight. I want it even bolder than that, so if you go black, makes it like extra thick, which is good for, I think it's good for this style over here. Let's see. So here we want to create the little savings indicator, little capsule there. So we'll go ZStack, and inside of our ZStack, we will go ahead and create a capsule like so. And it's big at the moment, but we're going to go ahead and shrink that down. So we're going to give it a foreground style of .indigo, and then we want to add some text above that, and the text here is going to be save 87%. Alright, then we want to make the font a little smaller here, so I think that suggestion is good. Caption, yeah, we'll go caption 2, make it a touch, touch smaller. Alright, and then on the Z stack here, I'm gonna clean up that line, don't need an extra line there. On the Z stack here, we'll go ahead and give it a dot frame, and we'll specify both width and height, and it says 104 to 32. I think we'll change that to 72 and a height of 16. And why is VStack here? Did I mess up there? Yeah, I think I want to do an HStack. All right. You can't do alignment leading in VStack, HStack. Oh, I know. Okay. No, we do want to keep that a VStack, but let's go ahead and take all this, Command X, and go HStack. All right. Let's see what happens. That looks more like what I was thinking. All right. Scroll down here a little bit. So we got our HStack there, and then we have this in a VStack here, because underneath this we want like the 12-month, that little text there. So shoop, and we go here, and then we can start putting the text for 12 MO, and then we'll press the function key on your keyboard, or I press the function key because I'm on MacBook Air, and then we can just type in dot and then use arrow keys, and that works pretty good. So here, and I do that, and we go, oops, $20, and I think that's all we need there. Press the escape key not to accept any of the suggestions there. And then we want to go outside of our VStack, add a spacer, and then add this 166 a week text. So we'll go text, and we will put in here a $1.66 /week. All right, Looks pretty good. And then, let's see. So HStack here. We're going to go ahead and make our HStack look a little nicer than it currently does. Because we want it to look kind of, have this fancy border and stuff. So our HStack here, we're going to go ahead and go enter, and then we can add our fancy borders and all that, which will be, first we want to go padding, like that, inset it a little bit, and then we want to add a background. And that gives it a little background there, but we don't want the actual we want this background, the normal background, but we want to make just like a stroke around the whole thing, like a border like that. So we will go ahead and use the uneven rectangle, go down a little bit, and then go option enter to get all these. And then we will put in the values of here. Let's see. Let's clean this up a little. Clean this up. Just backspace, delete, backspace, or enter, delete, enter. Kind of clean it up. And for the top leading, we're going to go 0. For the bottom, we're going to go 12. For the other bottom, we're going to go 12, and for the other top trailing, we're going to go 0. Then we're going to set the this to continuous. All right, so that's what it looks like at the moment, and we're using these kind of flat edge tops because we're going to use an overlay here, and if we have kind of rounded, you could probably see the edges. Now we obviously need to modify this because we want to go dot stroke, so it returns a new shape that is a stroked copy of the self using the contents of the style to define the characteristics. And we want to add line width, and I think we want to go 4, and there we go. Now we do want to go before line width, put a little comma there, and we'll put dot indigo, not infinity, indigo. Boom. And that is starting to look pretty good. All right. But we also want to add this most popular on there. So let's see, we will do on our background, we'll go dot overlay, and we'll set the alignment to dot top, like so. And here we're going to create a Z stack where we're going to have basically this. Don't think we'll use the stroke. We'll copy that. We'll go Z stack, paste that there. And it's overlaying that. So let's see. We want to give it a stroke as well. So I guess we should copy the stroke. Let me just do that. Copy that. And go paste. Alright, so it doesn't look too much different at the moment, but we're going to give it a frame. And that frame is just going to be specified in the height, not the width. And the frame height is just going to be 33. And so you see we got it on the top there, but it looks a little funky, so we're going to reverse some of these numbers. Top is going to be 12, bottom's going to be 0, bottom's going to be 0, and top is going to be 12. Alright, so still looking a little wonky here, but that's because we need to give it a bit of an offset so that it's not kind of sitting in there. Let's see, overlay, I want to give it an offset on the Z stack level. So we'll go dot offset, and we'll go Y, and we'll take it up a bit. So we'll go negative 33, kind of the height of the frame. So now that looks pretty good. It's kind of where I want it to be, but this is empty, not filled out. So we'll fix that in the Z stack. So we're going to go ahead and just copy this and put it right there. And you can see if I zoom in a little bit, come on, no, maybe not. It's a pain to move this thing around. You can see how this is kind of inset though on both sides, which is a little obnoxious. And I think that's why I was adding the stroke, but the stroke doesn't seem to be helping there. We're gonna go fill color, indigo. What do I do here? Okay, I think I know what we're doing here. So let's cut this out. Let's back that up to here. Select all this, cut. Let's add our text first. And this is going to be most popular. And then on the most popular, we're going to give it a dot frame max width dot infinity, and then we are going to give it a dot frame height of 33, and then we're going to set the background dot background to that uneven rectangle, and there we go. Now here's our stroke. If I comment that out, oops, if I actually comment that out with all its modifiers, then yeah, it shrinks down a little bit when we get this little gap. And I wasn't 100% sure why that was happening, so I threw everything in a Z stack and put a border around it, and it seems to match up. So I don't know if that's a bad hack or not. I should look into that more. Anywho, quick fix at the moment. All right, now this one should be even simpler because we're not gonna, we don't need this overlay or anything. So if I select basically everything before the overlay, go copy, and then scroll down here and paste that in there, we should have, oh, undo. Am I in a Z stack here? H stack. Scroll down. Yep, I was in the H stack there. So get out of that H stack, get back into our main V stack here. And then we've got pretty much everything we need. We're gonna change this to $3 a week. And we are gonna change, let's see, don't need that. And I don't need that. Kind of clean that up a little bit. And then select all that, Control I. All right, looking pretty good. Now we just need to get rid of all these zeros on our background stroke, and we're looking pretty good. It would be handy to go dot padding, and we're gonna go dot vertical. All right, and maybe even put some padding on dot padding dot vertical on this one, maybe. Yeah, give it a little more of a gap. So now I got yearly, and we don't want this one to be yearly, we want this one to be weekly. So I've been watching a couple YouTube videos on like how to make money with iOS apps, because I was like, gosh, I need to figure out how to make money. And I've been hearing that weekly subscriptions are the way to go. So Yeah, who knows? Anyway, where are we at? I don't know if that's too big of a gap, but yeah, so far looking pretty good. We just need to put a button and then like no payment due. I did get this UI idea from Mobbin. I changed it very little, so let's see. So next we need a button, and this will be action. Oh, my dog woke up. She's like, what are you doing, Dad? Alright, action. We're not going to do anything right now. No store kit integration. Go ahead and build out this label. It's going to be a Z stack. And then we're going to just put inside of... I got to readjust things now. Yeah. Subscribe, image. We're not going to do all that. Undo. Z stack. Inside here, we're just going to put a capsule like so. And then we're going to give it a fill color of, I don't know why it keeps on putting color.indigo. I think we just do that. And then we're going to constrain the frame height to something like 44. And that didn't quite work, so I'll cut that out. Parentheses, I could have done that better, but anyway. And there we've got a button. Let's see. Button, and over here, start your 7-day free trial. All right. So yeah, we'll go text. Start your 7-day free trial. Like that. And it's blue, which is not great, so we'll go dot foreground style to be dot white. And that looks pretty good. And then we do need to add some padding to this button because at the moment it's just taking up too much. So we're gonna go dot padding. All right, that looks pretty good. These paddings are getting a little out of control maybe. Let's go into our last button here and go padding dot top. Oh, what did I do there? Now my dog's freaking out. All right. Did that fix it? Yeah, I think that's better. All right. Let's see. And then the last thing is we'll just put some text here. So go ahead and go text. And this one's going to be no payment due today. All right. Looks pretty good. Yeah. What was it? If I tab, no, learn more. The first one was better. It's like canceling time. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's a good suggestion. Maybe I should accept it. But a lot of the times I don't know if it's worth it. Anywho, yeah, there we go. Hopefully this is useful. I'll put the code in the source. I'll put the source code in the Git repository. And yeah, now you can actually get a real array and put in different people here. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a video and figure out what I'm gonna do for tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.